A lot of the problems we experience as young men usually derive from the fact that we don't understand what our purpose is. Knowing your purpose is the easiest next step that you can do in order to start seeing some progress in your life, to start seeing the pieces of the puzzle come together, to start overcoming those challenges and those obstacles and making it easier, making it not effortless, but not reverting back to old habits, not reverting back to old ways whenever you understand what it is that you're kind of here to do, and making sure that you live your purpose now, that you're not putting off your purpose until some future version of you has got your life figured out, has achieved X, Y, and Z. Like, you can live in your purpose right now. No matter what part of your life you're in right now, you can have purpose. And sometimes it just takes a different way of seeing the word, a different working definition to get you to move forward. And I think that is the main problem. Some of the mistakes that people make with purpose is inflating the word as if it's a higher calling from God. Like, you can only have purpose if you change the world, if you impact millions of people. Well, guess what? If that's your definition of purpose, you're never going to get started, because that gap from where you are now to where it is that you think you need to be is so big that it's almost like, well, what's the point? The next step is not going to make any difference because I'm a million steps away from that point anyway. People think that purpose is only for entrepreneurs, only for business owners who are having impacts on their small circle, or their jobs is within coaching, or is within product, or they get to work with people, they get to speak to people for their job, and it's only exclusive to them. But what about if you work a 9 to 5? What about you don't want to own a business? That doesn't interest you. Does that mean you cannot live with purpose? And that's something that I spoke about with a friend the other day. He said his words were, I'm not an entrepreneur, so I don't really feel like I'm useful, I can do anything. I just have a job. And I just thought, what a sad way to kind of look at it. Because to me, the way that I saw it through his eyes was, I can never have this thing. I can never have a sense of excitement. I can never have a sense of passion. I can never have a sense of intention unless I have a business. And I think that's come from social media. That's the biggest problem, is just like telling us that we need to be these business owners, and you're a schmuck if you work a 9 to 5, and if you're not working off your laptop in Bali, then you've not made it. And I hate that narrative, because majority of people aren't like that. And there should be no fault in you not wanting to do that. And then the last one is thinking that purpose is your job. And that's probably one of the biggest mistakes that I've made as someone who's been a personal trainer for best part of seven or 8 years. I made that my purpose. I made my job my purpose. I thought, that's it. Like, the reason that I'm here is to do that. But then at the back end of my career, when I realized it's not what I wanted to do anymore, I struggled, because if that was my purpose, if that was my identity, and now that's gone, then what do I do? How do I find purpose? How can I change this narrative? So those are some of the mistakes of just going round and round in circles and not having something that you want to do. So my definition of purpose is pretty simple. It's a reason to get up, and it's the person that you want to be. And then whatever you need to do to get there. Waking up each day having some sort of impact in the way that you want to do it. Waking up each day knowing what it is that you need to do today to get that one step closer forward. And that comes from understanding two things. That comes from having written goals. That comes from actually having a target that you can see, a target that you can try and hit, and then reverse engineering that process. And then that also comes from understanding who you are, understanding what you're good at, understanding what you enjoy, understand how you want to live your life. What's the kind of person that you want to be? If people describe you, if you overheard a conversation of people talking about you, what would you want them to say about you? What do you want your friends to say about you when the doors are closed? What do you want your colleagues to say about you when the doors are closed, when they can't hear you? That to me is purpose. So I'll give you a couple examples for me. So the kind of person that I want to be is a student of life, always be learning, always be making sure that my software, the stuff in here, is staying as high as I can, as I can't think of the word right now, but you know what I'm trying to get at. And a tagline of mine is leaving people better off than I found them. So every person that I speak to, is there some way that I can help them? Whether that's just listening to them, giving them my full attention, whether that's just recommending a TV show or a book, whether that's saying that they smell nice, whether that's saying that they dress good. What's something that I can do each day to live out that purpose, live out that thing that I want to do, live out that kind of person that I want to be. I want to be someone that's known for uplifting people. And then my reason to get up at the moment is to inspire other young men to navigate their 20s, navigate this period of their life. And I say their 20s because usually this comes in your 20s. This could be even in your 30s. Navigating that next step where you stop guessing your way through life, where you stop guessing, like you just throwing shit at a wall and hoping it sticks. How can you make things a little bit tight? How can you systemize it a little bit? How can you get clear on your thoughts? How can you do the self-work and the personal development that you need that's going to get you to the next level? That's going to make you a better man. That's going to improve not only just your life, but the people in your life, in your circle as well. How can I serve people in that sense? And then when I have two things to kind of work with, I reverse engineer the steps of giving myself a goal. Right, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the kind of person I want to be. This is what the person I want to be known for. And these are the goals that I want to achieve. Those two things alone, knowing those two things, are so powerful because now I have something to work with. Now I have something that I can work backwards from and be like, okay, tomorrow, this needs to be done. This needs to be done in order to get me that little step closer. Tomorrow, I need to make sure that I do this for the business. I need to do this to help someone. I need to do this. I need to get myself on YouTube. I've been putting this off for so long. But I know how powerful unfiltered thoughts and no edited and just kind of talking to you as a brother, as a friend can be. But I've been putting it off because for whatever reason we won't get into in this video. And then understanding the kind of person it is I want to be, every decision has kind of worked from that, and that gives me a sense of purpose. So just circling back to those kind of points, purpose doesn't need to be this like high calling. I had a conversation with a friend the other day, the one that said that he's not an entrepreneur. And he said, I don't know how to live with purpose if I don't have these things. And I was like, okay, well, what is it that you're good at? Earlier on in the conversation, actually, he told me that he was a very good listener. He told me that he's very good at supporting people. He told me he's very good at like giving advice. That right there is your purpose. That right there is something that you can do today. That right there is something you can think about in every single conversation that you go into. Can I support them in any way? Can I just listen to them? Can I give them my full attention? Attention these days is so rare. Everyone's distracted by social media. Everyone can't pay attention without pings and notifications and watches and all that kind of stuff. Can you just sit there and listen to someone? Listen without giving any advice. Just be a sounding board for them. That could be a purpose. You then become useful. That's something that you can do every single day. Are there goals that you can try and achieve? What is it that you're trying to move towards? And as you start getting into that, as you start writing these things down and starting to get clear on them, this sense of purpose, this sense of meaning becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. Because you know what the next step can be. Purpose is not your job. Reverting back to that one. You're not here to work. You can be useful within your job. You can be a type of person within your job, like I just said there with the example of my friend. He wanted to be a good listener. He doesn't have the business. He felt like he should. That was another problem. It was like, okay, I need to go and do his thing. I was like, you actually want that? But then, if that's not going to come for, say, a year, what is it that you can do right now? Okay, whenever I'm in work, my purpose is to make sure that I listen to my colleagues. My purpose is to make sure I help people in whatever sense. Again, this is something that you need to try and write down. But look at all the things that you're good at already. Look at the kind of person that you want to be. And look at the goals that you want to achieve. Those 3 steps. You get clear on those 3 steps. You'll be able to write those down and actually have them worded out. You will then start to see how purpose becomes a lot easier to adhere to. Purpose becomes a lot simpler to put into words. And you start seeing how exciting your life is because you are just invested in your process. You are just invested in what you need to do right now. You've got that drive. You've got that excitement. You've got that get up and go, that forward motion. I don't know what the quote is. An object that's in motion will stay in motion, and an object that is at rest will stay at rest. I think that's the law of physics, Newton's law or whatever, but it works the same with your goals. It works the same with your purpose. Whenever you're in motion, whenever you know what the next step is, whenever you're clear, whenever you have the clarity on what your next action is, you end up becoming the man that knows what he wants. You end up becoming the man that knows what he's there to do. And when you know that, you start opening up doors for you. You start being more attractive if you're in the dating scene, more attractive to the people around you, and you start living a much better life. That's 10 minutes there. I may have just waffled. So if you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. And I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. But yeah, go live with purpose. Go find out what you're good at and find out who you want to be. Peace.